In the tranquil farming village of Eagle, Wisconsin in the year 1883, an extraordinary mystery unfolded on quite an ordinary farm. A woman named Clarissa Wood stumbled upon a remarkable, intricate 12-sided stone, glistening with a simply enchanting warm golden glow. Irritated by curiosity, she took it to a nearby jeweler in the bustling city of Milwaukee. After examining it attentively, the jeweler confidently declared it to be an exemplary topaz, gemstone, and purchased it for a mere $1 bill. At first, it seemed like a straightforward trade, yet what appeared to be just a single transaction would grow into one of the most astonishingly unsolved and enigmatic gem stories imaginable within America's history. Clarissa's stone didn't vanish quietly. Over time, whispers began to spread. This was no ordinary topaz. Some believed it was actually a diamond of extraordinary size, a gem that could have rivaled the greatest in the world. The tale grew with each retelling, fueled by the idea that a priceless treasure might have been hiding in rural Wisconsin all along. Local newspapers hinted at the scandal, jewelers speculated in hushed tones, and townsfolk wondered if Eagle had unknowingly held one of the rarest stones ever discovered. Was it carelessly sold, deliberately covered up, or quietly stolen away? To this day, no one knows for sure, but the mystery of Clarissa's stone lingers, shimmering in the shadows of history. To truly understand the legend, we need to step back into the world of the late 19th century. This was an era before advanced gemology, when jewelers depended on the naked eye, a simple magnifying glass, and their personal experience to judge a stone's worth. Without today's scientific instruments, errors were common. A glimmering diamond might be mistaken for quartz, and rare gems could be dismissed as something ordinary. But mistakes weren't the only danger. The gem trade of the 1800s was rife with speculation, secrecy, and sometimes deception. A jeweler's quick word could make or break the fate of a stone, and fortunes were won or lost in an instant. So when Clarissa's 12-sided stone was quietly labeled as topaz and sold for a single $1, questions naturally arose. Was it an innocent misidentification born of the times, or a deliberate act to conceal something far more valuable? This uncertainty is what gives the story its power. Clarissa's stone wasn't just a curiosity. It was a mystery caught between human error, greed, and the limits of knowledge in a bygone era. The tale deepened when local newspapers began to whisper of something extraordinary, that the so-called Eagle stone was not topaz at all but a diamond. Reports claimed it could weigh hundreds of carats, a size so staggering it would have ranked among the largest diamonds ever discovered anywhere in the world. For a farming village like Eagle, this rumor was electrifying. A humble stone picked up by a local woman was suddenly being spoken of in the same breath as the great gems of India and South Africa. Headlines drew in readers with a mix of curiosity and envy, and the story spread far beyond Wisconsin's borders. Some saw it as proof that untold riches could lie hidden in America's quiet countryside. Others suspected exaggeration, or worse, a deliberate attempt to cover up the theft of a national treasure. What began as a farm woman's curious find had transformed into a headline-grabbing mystery, one that blurred the line between fact, rumor, and legend. The Eagle stone had become more than a jewel. It was now a scandal, and perhaps even a lost fortune. Yet, the evidence is frustratingly thin. After its sale, the stone simply vanished. No reliable record of its journey survives, leaving only fragments of rumor. Some say it was recut into smaller gems, destroying any chance of ever proving its true identity. Others believe it was spirited away into a private collection, hidden from the world and quietly guarded as a secret treasure. A few even whisper that it was lost to history through neglect, misplaced in the shuffle of time. Without the stone itself, there is no way to settle the debate. Was it an ordinary topaz, a colossal diamond, or something else entirely? The truth remains sealed in speculation, leaving us only with echoes of what might have been. Still, the village of Eagle embraced the legend. For generations, locals passed the tale down, each retelling adding new color, new certainty, or new doubt. Some swore with conviction that Clarissa had once held the diamond of the century in her hands. Others laughed it off as nothing more than a tall tale, born from rumor and wishful thinking. Yet, whether believed or not, the story became woven into Eagle's identity. It was more than a mystery. It was a source of pride, a reminder that even a quiet farming town could claim its place in the strange and glittering pages of history. To understand why the legend endured, we have to step into the spirit of the Gilded Age, a time when America was dazzled by wealth, progress, and the promise of sudden fortune. The great diamond discoveries in South Africa had already gripped the world's imagination, producing gems of staggering size that filled newspapers and adorned royalty. In this atmosphere, stories of hidden treasures and glittering stones felt not only possible but inevitable. The public was enchanted by tales of ordinary people stumbling upon extraordinary riches. So, when whispers spread of a colossal diamond lying unnoticed in the Wisconsin countryside, the idea fit perfectly into that gilded dream. The Eagle Stone wasn't just a local curiosity. It was part of a much larger cultural obsession with wealth, rarity, and the mysteries that might still be hiding in the American landscape. But skeptics were quick to raise questions. How could a seasoned jeweler, trained to spot value, mistake one of the largest diamonds in history for a simple topaz? And why sell it for just a single dollar if it was truly priceless? To many, the story seemed too extraordinary to be real. Yet supporters countered with equal passion. Even skilled jewelers of the 19th century made mistakes, especially without modern tools. Others suggested something more cunning. Perhaps the jeweler knew exactly what he held and chose to quietly profit from Clarissa's ignorance rather than draw attention. With no hard evidence to prove either side, the story became a battlefield of belief. Skeptics dismissed it as exaggeration, while believers clung to the possibility of a hidden fortune lost to time. The debate itself gave the legend its longevity, keeping the mystery alive long after the stone was gone. Historians have long tried to trace the fate of the elusive stone, but the trail quickly grows cold. Some speculate it was quietly sold on the East Coast, where jewelers may have cut it into smaller stones to erase its origins and avoid public scrutiny. If true, fragments of the so-called Eagle Stone could still be hidden today, sparkling in rings or necklaces with no clue to their remarkable past. Others argue the entire affair was nothing more than myth-making. The 1880s were the height of sensational journalism, when newspapers thrived on bold headlines and half-truths to captivate readers. A story of a poor farm woman stumbling upon a diamond rivaling the world's greatest was irresistible copy. To the press, a Wisconsin diamond was the perfect scoop, whether it existed or not. Caught between these possibilities, the mystery deepens. Was Clarissa's find a genuine treasure lost to history, or simply a tale spun larger than life by an eager press? Meanwhile, the town of Eagle leaned into the folklore. What began as a single curious find soon became a story the community carried with pride. Over the decades, the tale of Clarissa's mysterious stone found its way into local histories, books, and newspaper retrospectives, each retelling adding new life to the legend. Even as the facts grew hazy, the story endured, becoming a part of Eagle's cultural fabric. Visitors passing through were told of the stone that might have been a diamond larger than any in the world. Local storytellers embellished the mystery, sometimes framing it as a lost fortune, other times as a cautionary tale about chance and missed opportunity. Whether it was truly a priceless diamond or nothing more than an unusual topaz, the so-called Eagle Stone gave the quiet farming village an unlikely brush with fame. It tied a small Midwestern town to the glittering world of international gemstones, a connection that still lingers in whispers, tourism lore, and the imagination of those who wonder what might have been. In more recent years, both gemologists and historians have revisited the case of the Eagle Stone, trying to separate fact from folklore. The central question has remained unchanged for more than a century. Could Clarissa's stone have been mistakenly identified as topaz when in fact it was something far rarer, perhaps even a diamond of world-class size? With modern gemology, the tools exist to answer such a question. Today, scientists can analyze stones with lasers, microscopes, and spectroscopy, uncovering secrets invisible to the naked eye. If the eagle stone had survived, its true identity could likely be resolved in hours. Yet the stone itself has vanished, leaving researchers with nothing but old reports, hearsay, and rumor. And so the answer remains frustratingly out of reach. Still, this uncertainty is precisely why the story continues to endure. The mystery forces us to confront a larger truth about history itself. So much of what we know depends on what has been preserved. When evidence disappears, whether by accident, design, or neglect, the past becomes a canvas of speculation. For Eagle, the lost stone is more than a curiosity. It is a reminder of how easily a single artifact can change a community's place in history, and how fragile that legacy can be. Was it truly a diamond, forever hidden in some private collection? Was it recut and scattered, its pieces worn unknowingly on fingers across the world? Or was it nothing more than an ordinary topaz, inflated by rumor into legend? We may never know the truth, but what we do know is this: the eagle stone continues to inspire wonder more than a century later, a flicker of golden light in America's forgotten past, urging us to keep searching the shadows of history for the treasures we've lost. What's particularly intriguing is how this story highlights the fragile boundary between truth and legend. A single object, misidentified or lost, can transform into folklore that outlives everyone involved. Clarissa Wood may never have known the controversy her little stone would cause, yet her discovery still sparks debate nearly 150 years later. The story of the eagle stone is not unique. Across the world, history is scattered with tales of gems lost, mislabeled or forever shrouded in uncertainty. Some disappeared into private collections, hidden from the public eye. Others were dismissed as common stones, only for their true brilliance to be revealed centuries later. These mysteries endure because they touch something universal, the timeless human fascination with treasure, and the hope that unimaginable fortune might be waiting in the most unlikely places. The so-called eagle diamond, as it came to be known, has joined that long tradition. Like other legendary stones, it lingers in the space between history and myth, between fact and fable. Was it truly one of the largest diamonds ever discovered on American soil? Or simply a curious topaz, elevated into legend by rumor, wishful thinking, and the hunger of newspapers for a sensational story? The absence of proof has not weakened its allure, it has only magnified it. And so the legend endures. The eagle stone reminds us not just of what might have been found in a Wisconsin field, but of how deeply we are drawn to mysteries that glitter just out of reach. Ultimately, we may never know the stone's true identity. Was it truly a priceless diamond, carelessly dismissed as topaz by a jeweler who lacked the tools of modern science? Or was it simply a curious but ordinary gem, elevated into legend by rumor, exaggeration, and the power of a good story? The frustrating lack of answers is precisely what keeps the tale alive. Without the stone itself, we are left with fragments, newspaper clippings, local folklore, and speculation passed down through generations. And in that silence, imagination rushes in to fill the gaps. For some, the eagle stone represents the greatest missed opportunity in American history. For others, it is little more than a cautionary tale about how myths can grow from the thinnest evidence. But perhaps that is its true power. The eagle stone's legacy lies not in proving what it was, but in reminding us of what it might have been. It lingers as a symbol of mystery, of human curiosity, and of our timeless fascination with treasures that may glitter forever, just beyond our grasp. And that is the enduring legacy of the eagle diamond mystery. In the end, it is less about what the stone truly was, and more about how its story captured imaginations. From a quiet Wisconsin village to national headlines, the tale reminds us that history is often written not only by facts, but by the mysteries that refuse to die. If you enjoyed uncovering this hidden chapter of history, make sure to subscribe to Obscured History for more untold stories. Join us again as we journey into the shadows of the past, exploring the secrets, scandals, and forgotten mysteries that time has left behind.